Um, you were talking about the Golden State Killer case, which is probably I guess maybe the biggest, or if not one of the biggest cases that involves genealogy. Can you describe how that case kind of like opened up the world, I guess, and opened up people knowledge to what genealogy is one and genetic genealogy? So can you describe just how it affected maybe your daily life and the life for those in the community?
It was really huge. I can tell you that. I actually I'm in the process of finishing up a blog post because it's going to be 5 years next week since the arrest happened, and kind of just reviewing, what has happened in these 5 years. And all the genealogists, when it broke, half of them were like, "Oh wow, this is so cool." I can't
Hmm.
believe this is happening. And then the other half of them were just outraged, like, how dare they come into our databases where we're doing our work, and bring law enforcement in, and then the traditional arguments,
Okay.
well, if you have nothing to hide, what difference does it make, yada yada yada.
Uh,
But I think a large majority of them were not so much upset that this was happening, but that it was happening without our consent, and that it was happening,
right.
behind our backs almost, and we weren't aware that this was going on. And since that time, both GEDmatch and Family Tree DNA have created opt-in policies where, actually, Family Tree DNA is an opt-out policy, so you have to opt out if you're not interested, whereas GEDmatch is more of an opt-in.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, it really was kind of the beginning of this brand new field, and it really opened up consciousness into this brand new field. I think the media still to this day doesn't quite understand
Right.
how this is different from what we have previously been doing. They use the term familial searching sometimes. They're talking about two different techniques. So when they start talking, oh, familial searching, just like, GSK, and you're like, no, that's not familial searching. This is forensic investigative genetic genealogy. It's like a totally different field. We're using different kinds of DNA, different kinds of databases, different kinds of people are working these cases. A genealogist can't go into CODIS. People who work at CODIS are not going into the genealogy databases. It's like completely different people.
Mm.
And it really was. It There were a lot of cases happening simultaneously. And even 2 weeks prior to it being announced, the DNA Doe Project had announced that they had identified unidentified human remains, the Buckskin girl. It didn't quite hit the same way. I guess it's like serial killers are just that much more exciting than
Yeah.
unidentified people. But yeah, it changed a lot for genealogy, and we're still, I think, trying to catch up to, especially considering, it's in forensics, it's going, things that are going to court, that things that need, like you talk about, uh, standards and those types of things, certifications. So it's heading in that direction, but I think we're still trying to catch up to that.
Right.